Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, my fellow Chibits. Today, I'm here to bring you a anime first impressions of Seraph of the End's first episode. So, this has been quite the talked about series. Now, a lot of people have been hyping up the series, talking about the series for the past couple weeks, since the certain trailers have been coming out, and we finally get a glimpse at the anime and the first episode. So, before I go any further, I want to clarify a couple of things. I have read the first volume of the manga. I own the first volume and the second volume. I've read slightly into volume 2, but not completely, but I have read all of volume 1. And from what I see so far from the way this first episode was done, it is adapting the manga beautifully. It is. Now, before I go further than that, it was announced a couple weeks back, but the thing is what I heard a couple weeks back, it was on Anime News Network, is that Seraph of the End was going to have an anime original ending, from what I heard. I heard about it, and I saw it on Anime News Network a couple weeks back, and it was supposedly going to have an anime original ending. So, I'm just pre-warning you all right now. If you are a manga reader, I don't know if you know that or not, but that was what it was said in the article. I don't know if they decided to change that. I don't know if that was an April Fool's joke. I'm just letting you know right now. That's what I heard. And so, if that is true, we're gonna have an anime original ending. Let's just hope it's not controversial like the Akame ga Kill ending was, shall we? So, now that I've clarified that, the first episode of Seraph of the End, I personally believe it's a lot better than the manga. It's a lot better than the manga for multiple different reasons. A lot of reasons, actually. That's very obvious. Why? If you've read the first chapter of Seraph of the End, you probably know what I'm about to mention. In this episode, a lot of the Eren Yeager vibes I got from the manga, like the first chapter of the manga and the first volume of the manga, a lot of those Eren Yeager vibes got removed in this first episode. Like, I didn't feel like I was watching a carbon copy of Eren Yeager. I actually saw a different type of character, and that makes me respect this anime studio a lot more. And if I'm correct, the anime studio that is making Seraph of the End is the exact same studio that made Attack on Titan. Don't quote me on that, but I think I'm correct. I think I'm correct when it comes to that. So if it is the same anime studio, I have a lot more respect that they didn't try to have a carbon copy of one of their series' most iconic characters from their studio, Eren Yeager. And so, yeah, the main male character, he didn't give me those vibes. He actually felt like a different character, and they removed a lot of those, little themes that kind of agitated me when I read the first volume, and that makes me enjoy this anime a lot more. It really does. Because in this episode, they added anime filler. Now, you're probably thinking like, oh shit, anime filler, this ain't good. Actually, the anime filler they added was good. It was very good. They added filler that was flowing between scenes that was kind of there in the manga. Like, you're watching a panel by panel in the manga, like when you're reading it, and they got, let's say, from point A to point B, but there was nothing in between, let's say in the manga. Well, in the anime, the animators decided to go one step further and put some material between point A and point B. Like the walking through the sewer section of this episode when you saw the vampires looking around and stuff, looking for the kids, there were some certain scenes that were added extra that was anime filler to add a more of an atmospheric type approach to Seraph of the End, and it added a lot more details and a lot more of how the world works and how these kids are being treated, and I respect that a lot, getting to see that, because getting to see how these vampires give no shits about the kids and the way they were grabbing them and all that, or looking after them, trying to find them, just that, those anime filler scenes I enjoyed, because it added more, I guess, conclusion to this chapter than it did when I first read the manga. So I feel like when it came to the anime adaptation, they actually improved and did the manga justice. They went past the manga's first chapter. Like, this entire first episode only covered chapter 1 of Seraph of the End. That's all it covered. And that's good. It's very good because, chapter 1 is fucking long. I think it was like 70 pages? 40 pages? It was right in there. It was a long chapter. But the point of it is that this is a brilliant start to an anime. It's a really good start. Now, the themes and, I guess, the music and stuff like that. Let's get into that. So, the theme of the series is vampires. And, as always, when it comes to anime and a post-apocalyptic type anime, humanity has to be on the brink of extinction. And what we find out right at the beginning is that a virus has came into the town or in the world, and anyone that's over the age of 13 will die to this new virus. And if you're under the age of 13, you are fine. And what you can look at when it came to this virus was that it was making people bleed uncontrollably. Like, you saw people vomiting up blood and stuff, so you gotta wonder what type of virus was this, and is everybody else that goes over the age of 13, are they fucked and they are gonna die? I mean, we gotta wonder that right now. But the thing was, you had these creatures, the vampires, come in and grab the kids, all that were under age 13, and like, okay, we're taking you under protection, we're gonna take you underground, and we're gonna protect you since this new virus that you humans made killed everything. So we don't know if the vampires are lying or not, but that's what they said at the beginning of the episode. So we have to wonder, did the humans really make that virus? Did the vampires make that virus? They're lying to the kids. You have to wonder, because, I mean, for what we saw in this episode, the vampires were killing kids, and they were just stabbing them, cutting them up, like slaughtering cattle. That's just like, that's what was happening in this episode. And speaking of slaughter and cattle, oh my god, like, those kids got destroyed. They got fucking destroyed. Brutal scene, but it was censored. It was definitely censored. That's probably my only real major complaints I have when it came to this episode, besides music, which I'll get into in a moment. My only complaint is the censorship on the kids. Like, there were supposed to be scenes where you saw the kids chopped in half, which I understand Japan has to censor. That's fine. I mean, at least it's not Tokyo Ghoul or Terraformer type censors. It's not those type of censors. It's not Terraformers or Tokyo Ghoul censors. I mean, at the very least, we saw blood. So, I mean, it's not that bad. I'm just saying they did censor that scene. So if you want to make a comparison yourself, just read the first chapter if you want to see how it is compared to the manga. But, yeah, getting into the music. Now, the music, when it came to Seraph of the End, the music's okay, the music's good, but when it comes to liking music, it's very subjective. And personally, I felt like a more ambient, atmospheric type music would have done a lot better when it came to this anime series, because the music, I know it sounded good, it did sound good, like that final song that played when you saw how the blonde-haired boy was dying in the main character's arms. It was a really good song, it was, but I felt like a more of a dark tone type ambient song would have suited a lot of these scenes a lot more, and the color palette of the series when it came to animation and art style was pretty nice, but it would have done a lot better and benefited a lot better if it did have these ambient soundtracks, but maybe they might haven't, they yet to show them, so hopefully we get to hear some really epic soundtracks in the future. I highly doubt we have heard all the glory of the soundtracks from this series. And from what I heard too, this series is supposed to be 27 episodes, so yeah. I think that covers about everything when it comes to my first impressions of the anime. Good anime so far. It's not the best, but it's good so far. So tell me your thoughts. You all have a wonderful day or not wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.